And Ms. King, particularly Ms. King, since you're sitting in for Mr. Cortines, I want to thank you for the enormous amount of work to have established a process just for Huntington Park High School and creating Public School Choice 2.5. I think all of us here know this is the right thing to do. This has been a school in distress for, as one of the parents said, over 30 years. I know I don't need to share with you, but I will anyway. Why I've been so concerned, and why Mr. Cortines and Dr. Deasy and Ms. King have been so concerned about Huntington Park High School. And the work that went into developing these recommendations, both by the two panels, by Mr. Cortines and by all of his staff, is enormously, enormously appreciated. However, as Mr. Cortines, I too was extremely disappointed, not just simply in the plans, but I have to say from the very beginning, the behavior at this school by the adults was absolutely uncalled for and frankly despicable. And it was no surprise to me that Mr. Cortines was disappointed. We wanted to see adults rise to the occasion and establish for the parents and the children there that once and for all we're going to put them first. Unfortunately, that did not happen across the board. The plans that came to us, the recommendations that Mr. Cortines has issued for me are not fast enough or not deep enough. So I would like to make a motion to table this recommendation for 30 days. I'd like Dr. Deasy to come back in 30 days with a stronger plan, with attention to the reconstitution, moving this process forward immediately. And I want these elements to include the very good work that came from the 21st Century Network. I want it to include the possibility or the reality of creating a zone of choice. And I want central to this work the role of parents. We have to engage them much more actively, respectfully, appropriately, and have them be the voice of what they want for their children. And I am asking Dr. Deasy that you give these recommendations deeper thought, come back with a stronger plan in 30 days, and I would like fast, deep movement on the reforms at Huntington Park High School.
Very good, Ms. Martinez. Is that acceptable to you? Are there any other comments, board members? Mr. Zimmer?
I just want to, as part of that, Ms. Flores, do you also think that it's important to have, I don't know how many community meetings were had at Huntington Park in this process, but I would like to encourage that we make sure that in this 30-day window we're able to, as you said, fully engage all the stakeholders. It seems like in this 21st century, in the Libra Academy, in the zone of choice, there are elements here that we really want to capture and accent, and there are, in the midst of the very real statistics that you're pointing to, there are some true indicators that we have some things that are beginning to work or can work in at least in some of it. So I just want to see if we can have a. This is
exactly right, and this is what I want to build on. Through this process, we were getting some interesting information saying that the problem with our performance targets was really all of the factors that plague this community: poverty, kids in distressed homes, the fact that they're English learners, and this data here demonstrate that the problem is not the kids. The problem is we don't have the system and the structures and the support and the engagement of parents that we need. To your point about outreach, Dr. Deasy, this is important for you to know. The outreach to parents, we need to think about this much more thoughtfully, because there was outreach to parents. In a number of the meetings, half of because of the adult behavior going on in the room. The parents are not interested in the politics. They are not interested in anything else except what is going to be a great school for my students. And unfortunately, conversations got diverted, became very negative. There were efforts to sabotage the process. We cannot have that. Parents want the school to change for their children, period. So I'm very frustrated, Mr. Zimmer, because it's what we all know needs to happen, but we need to be able to model better behavior for our kids. So yes, we need to find better ways to outreach to parents. Yes, because Libra is showing us that same kids can achieve higher. We have a model. That's what the 21st Century Network was trying to promote. I don't want to lose that. I want to figure out how we bring them in and help support that movement forward.
It's really, can I ask a question, Madam President? Oh, it's not a question, it's more like a statement. You know, I appreciate the statistics on the school, but do you have this information in Spanish? Because when you talk to parents, and you tell them that among the English learners at the high school, only 1 out of every 100 students scored proficient in math. 1 out of every 100 students, an English learner student at that school, is scoring proficient in math. And only 1 out of 50 English learners scored proficient in English language arts.
I did have all of this in Spanish for the parents, and the parents are very troubled by this, and this is why they want better, faster, deeper math. We cannot wait another 30 years. People want to ask for a track record. There's been 30 years of a track record of not giving children a good education at Huntington Park High School, and I want to change that trajectory, Dr. Deasy.
Well, I'm always amazed at the fact that people are angry because they got on the list, but no one's ever angry about why you got on the list to begin with.
Right. So, you know, you talk just about the English learners, but across the board in the entire school, only 5% are proficient in math. How are these children going to succeed?
Yes, let's hear from Dr. Deasy.
Okay, thank you, board members. One request I would ask Ms. Flores in amending your motion, 30 days, if we could add an extra week, that we have spring break in the middle of that, and the ability to get people together on that period of time may compromise that. So between 30 and 45, I think the administration can meet the piece. And it's high sensitivity, very high sensitivity to this issue. We will come back to you. I remember one of our speakers referenced the lottery. I actually think there's many lessons to be learned from that short story by Shirley Jackson, I think published in 1948 in the New Yorker, and one of them was the kind of tragic futility of attempting to solve problems the way we've always solved them. And so it requires a different way of doing business if we're not going to cause continued consequences. So we will take that, and
Can I ask you to, Dr. Deasy, I don't know if this has ever been done. Is it possible to think about this particular school being under your leadership as it shepherds through a reform agenda?
we're going to come back with you with a number of recommendations on this. That certainly can be one of the ones to consider, amongst other things.
Thank you, board members. I appreciate your support.
Dr. Vladovic?
Just a statement. You know, I take umbrage when people start blaming people for everything. I don't blame the teachers for Huntington Park. I don't want to blame the parents. I don't want to blame anyone. What I want to do is move forward and improve the place. And so often we spend our time blaming. We just had a speaker who came up and blamed us, saying we blamed you. Let's get together and do what's right for kids. The litmus test has to be student achievement. Nothing else. I don't want to blame this institution or that. We've got great teachers. We've got great administrators. We've got great classified. Let's all sit down and solve this, but we've got to solve it now. The urgency is here. That's the bottom line.
Absolutely. So board members, the motion as amended, we'll hear more in about 45 days. Anybody objects? Any objection? Seeing none, so ordered. Any other comments, Mr. Superintendent, Ms. King?
No, this part of the meeting is done.
Very good. Motion to adjourn. Moved by Mr. Vladovic, second by Mr. Zimmer. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Okay, go. This is Matt. Hi, everybody. What we need to understand is that Yolie is pushing for reconstitution now of Huntington Park High so that the school year in July, correct, is still year-round, starts off with over half of the faculty gone. And the new teachers will all be less experienced teachers, first, second-year teachers, and displaced teachers, teachers who don't want to be at Huntington Park, but they've been displaced from other places. They're just there because this is where they're going to have a job. Plus, there's going to be Teach for America teachers there, which are teachers without any experience or any education. So it's a real disaster for the academic plan at Huntington Park. Whenever you reconstitute a school, it takes 3, 4, or 5 years for things to get back to the way they were when you reconstitute. The only reason they want to reconstitute is retaliation against the teachers at Huntington Park for fighting Yolie on anything. The teachers were supposed to just roll over and do everything Yolie wanted and they could stay. Well, unfortunately, the teachers at Huntington Park, and fortunately for the kids of Huntington Park, the teachers said, wait a second, we're the educated, experienced professionals, and you guys went out and met with the parents and met with students, so you guys need to do it again. We need to fill that boardroom in about 30 days, right? The middle of May. We don't have a date yet.
I think it's 45 days, isn't it? Didn't you say that?
45.
45?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to the end of
June
May.
1st, yep.
We need that room to be with 40, 50 parents, 20, 30 teachers who've got to be down there. And that
30
means,
students?
yeah, and that means taking off the day from work to go down there. And we've got to show them that what Yolie is saying is that the community wants this, is her line. And we know that the community does not want this, so we need to show them that. So.